Mm. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine and I hope you all had a great game week. I welcome you all to the live stream, my friends. It's pretty late in the night where I'm at, and I'm so thankful that you managed to join me, Dakla, Jitaria, Soman, Peter. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope you had a great game week. Before I start with the usual review of the game week and my eye test, I would like to kind of tell you about my game week, and it was going pretty well, guys. Before the last two games of the game week, that was Leicester versus Brighton and Arsenal versus Burnley. It was going to be a great game week, or you can say it was gonna be a decent game week, right? But what could possibly go wrong, guys? As I always say, FPL obeys Murphy's Law, and Murphy's Law it was, guys. I sold Vardy for a -4 hit, and it comes back to bite me right there in the last match of the game week. But that's not all, guys. I would like to tell you how I came to this decision, and that's important. What happened was I read the news that Diogo Jota was gonna be out because he was injured, and I was pretty happy, right? I was like, now Salah's gonna start against Fulham. The decision has been made. I actually wanted to keep Vardy. Until that point, I was like, I'm gonna keep Vardy. I'm not gonna bring in Salah, and I'm gonna captain Vardy because Salah played in midweek. Maybe he's gonna start, maybe not. Maybe he's gonna get 70 minutes. And there were lots of doubts in my mind, so I thought, yes, let's go ahead and not get Salah and play Vardy and make him captain. But Diogo Jota's injury was a blessing in disguise for my team, because I thought, okay, now Jota is injured, Salah's gonna play and start and gonna get a lot of minutes, right? So I said, fair enough, let's take the hit, let's take Vardy out for a -4 and bring in Salah. That didn't turn out well. But that's not all, guys. I support Arsenal. And the match is still on, and Arsenal is losing 1-0 to Burnley at home, and it is very, very bad. Being an Arsenal fan at the moment is pretty hard in itself, and when FPL throws such things at you, such is life, my friends. Alright, so that is my little rant over. Moving over to the important stuff, that is, talking about the game week and the eye test, and it starts here. The first game of the game week, guys, Leeds versus West Ham. It was a very, very strange game. We all expect Leeds to be really good, especially at home. Attacking team, but West Ham dominated Leeds absolutely the entire game. The goal they scored, Leeds, it was a click penalty. And it was not a penalty. It was a penalty, of course it was. But, Fabianski made a brilliant save, and it was maybe 1 millimeter off the line, and VAR called it, and it was retaken, and Click scored. It was the most abysmal penalty that Click took in the first place, and then he had to retake it, and then he just smashed it in the corner. Bamford got an assist, Click got a goal, but West Ham looked really, really impressive, guys. Pretty good in my opinion. Which players should you be targeting from West Ham United? In my opinion, guys, from West Ham, Cresswell obviously seems to be the real deal. Even Sofal seems to be good. And obviously when Mikel Antonio comes back, I think he's going to be very, very effective in that team, because West Ham were playing with 10 men because they had Sebastian Ole in their team. And my word, he is atrocious, guys. Only thing he wants to do is score a goal from a bicycle kick. He's the type of a player who wants to try and bicycle kick even when the ball is on the ground. But moving on, guys. So from West Ham, I'd say Sofal, Cresswell, maybe Jared Bowen seems like a good prospect. From Leeds, I'd say Bamford is your best bet from Leeds. Maybe Meslier, the keeper, but not yet. Wolves versus Aston Villa. From an FPL point of view, guys, this match was really important to me because I had Ollie Watkins, I had Grealish, and I had Martinez, and it went pretty well. Aston Villa won it right at the end when they got a penalty. And it was so frustrating watching El Ghazi take the penalty. But after the game, their manager confirmed that Grealish or Watkins were going to take it. Actually, it was Jack Grealish who was going to take it if El Ghazi was not on the pitch. So basically, he confirmed that when El Ghazi is not on the pitch, Jack Grealish is going to be taking penalties for Aston Villa. That's a big thing to note, guys. 7.6 million player taking penalties, right? So that was all. Martinez got 11 points finally. Ever since I brought him in, that was a decent return from Martinez. Wolves look completely out of sorts, and if you have Kilman, it is time to sell. If you have Semedo, it is time to sell. They have difficult fixtures, and they are not playing well, guys. They are not the same team without Raul Jimenez. Excuse me. Moving on, Newcastle versus West Brom. I mean, a lot of people brought in Wilson, and I don't think it was a bad decision. But as I said in the deadline stream, there was uncertainty about who was going to play for Newcastle. I mean, they played a nearly full-strength team, and they scored in the right at the start, very early in the game. But Wilson couldn't get any attacking returns. It was a brilliant goal scored by Dwight Gale. A brilliant header. West Brom looked okay. I mean, they didn't look too bad, didn't look too good. I mean, I don't think that against such teams like Newcastle or maybe Brighton, we can target West Brom. West Brom are not that bad defensively. I think they're fine. They're fine. They're a gritty team, and they're to try to fight. United versus City. What can be said, guys? It was a boring derby. Without the fans, it's just not the same. And of course, we know which players to target. From Manchester United, the only player you should be looking at is Bruno Fernandez. Maybe Cavani when he's back, but let's not talk about Cavani right now because he's injured. But from United, Bruno Fernandez has really good fixtures coming up, and I think he's a good prospect. From City, you already know. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is my favorite player from Manchester City, and other than that, I'd say they have a couple of really good fixtures. Maybe Southampton away is not the best fixture, but the next fixture in game week 13 is against West Bromwich Albion, and that is a great fixture, guys. So maybe the defender which you should be looking at is Ruben Diaz, because I think he's the most nailed on. I mean, I would be interested in John Stones as well because he's 4.8 million and he started the last 3 games. But other than that, De Bruyne, Sterling, all those guys you already know. If you have Mahrez, maybe he's starting the games but just not performing well. Phil Foden, if you own Phil Foden, it's time to sell. Everton versus Chelsea. A very unexpected result for us. I mean, Chelsea were flying, Chelsea were winning all the games, Everton were conceding 2 goals a game. Every game they would concede, not just 1 goal, guys, but 2 goals. But in this game, Everton were different. They were gritty. I mean, I think the game is going to come back to normal because the fans have started coming to the grounds, and that makes a difference, guys. That is the advantage of playing at home, right? And I think that season is going to come back to normal, and it's slowly going to start normalizing because generally in the stadiums where there were fans, the home results were improved, except Arsenal, of course. I'm sorry. Not talking about Arsenal, but yeah, the pain, guys. The pain is too much. Anyways, so moving on, guys. Let's talk about the fixtures. So Everton, Dominic Calvert-Lewin won the penalty. Sigurdsson scored it. I mean, Edouard Mendy was really reckless there to give the penalty away. But Calvert-Lewin, guys, he keeps returning. Even if he returns 5 points, he's still returning even in the difficult games. So maybe it might not be a bad idea to keep him and not sell him for somebody like Watkins, maybe Bamford. But I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the kind of player and the kind of form he is in, he can be kept throughout the entire season, and I already feel that I made a mistake while selling him. From Chelsea, if you own Timo Werner, it's so frustrating to own, guys. I think if you own Timo Werner, if you own somebody like Christian Pulisic, I would not be too interested in those guys. The player who looks good from Chelsea is Rhys James, 5.3 million defender, and he was everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Struck the woodwork. I mean, he was attacking. He was looking much better than Chilwell. So I mean, I would say from Chelsea, the players to target, maybe If you want a kind of a cheap player from Chelsea, Mason Mount could be the one. He hit the woodwork twice. But other than that, Rhys James and Chilwell. Southampton, Sheffield United. So 3-0, it was a great performance by Southampton. I mean, if you want to target a team, guys, it shouldn't be West Brom. It shouldn't be Fulham, guys. I think Sheffield United are absolutely abysmal this season. I mean, they look like a championship team, and I don't know what happened to them, but, they are looking really bad, and they just can't buy a goal from anywhere. I don't know why they started Billy Sharp over Brewster, but that's what happened. So Brewster, for all of you who own him, I just don't think he's number one in the pecking order by any chance. If Billy Sharp starts over him, then it's really bad. But I mean, Che Adams got a goal, Danny Ings got 1 assist, and Armstrong got another goal, and the third goal was scored by Nathan Redmond. It was a great performance by Southampton. Clean sheets for Southampton, and I think Westergaard looks a great FPL asset. He can score from headers, and he gets bonus points. Walker Peters, McCarthy, the usual players that have been owned in FPL. Che Adams, 6 million, ticking along nicely, guys. And honestly, if you have him, don't sell him, because I know the fixtures are difficult, right? The fixtures may be difficult, but Che Adams, 6 million, you are getting value for money, guys. So in my opinion, we would keep Che Adams. If you have Danny Ings, maybe. I'm not sure if you should keep him through the difficult fixtures, but Che Adams, possibly. Moving on, this was a very interesting game. I mean, the usual combination, Kane and Son scored in the 34th minute, and Son got the assist, Kane got a goal. But Crystal Palace were gritty, guys. They fought back hard, and it was a pretty good game to watch as well. And they pegged back Spurs, and they finally scored a goal as well. So it was, all in all, it was a decent game to watch. It was a pretty good goal. Schlupp scored the goal, Eze got the assist, but in my opinion, Kane and Son are amazing FPL buys. For those of you who kept them, kudos. They're still performing well, and I think out of these two, we should keep one of them in our teams. After the Liverpool game, either Son or Kane will come into my team. From Spurs, other than that, I think Reguilon is obviously one of their most owned defenders, but I'd say, guys, if you want to own Spurs players, don't look beyond Harry Kane and Heung-min Son. From Crystal Palace, Eze maybe starting to look like a decent asset, but I'd wait on him. If you own Zaha, possibly keep him. Crystal Palace, looking decent, but they've got very tough fixtures, right? So from an FPL point of view, I don't find any of their players too much desirable at the moment, but that's due to the fixtures, right? Otherwise, Zaha, you can go for Zaha, you can go for somebody like Eze. So yeah, Benteke is starting games for them, but I don't want to go there, but if, just in case. Fulham versus Liverpool. What can we say about this game, guys? I sold Jamie Vardy, took a hit to sell Jamie Vardy, and I got who? I got Mo Salah. And the logic was that Salah is kind of a flat track bully, and he he's gonna score. I think I was expecting at least 1 goal, 1 assist, or at least a double return from Salah. But my word, were Fulham amazing at home. Look what fans can do to a team, guys. Do to the confidence of a team, except Arsenal. I have to say that. Look what fans can do to the confidence of a team, and Scott Parker has transformed that team. Taking Mitrovic out of the team, and Cavaliero was good, Ademola Lookman was good, Reed, 5.3 million striker, Cordova Reed, guys. Starting games at wing back, but he's scoring goals, he's getting attacking returns. So if you're looking for a cheap striker, I'm not saying you should go for him, but you can consider him. Danny Welbeck, and Cordova Reed, below 6 million, look like good options, guys. From Liverpool, Mane looked completely out of sorts, and Firmino didn't look good at all. The only player who actually looked good, decent attacking wise, was Trent Alexander-Arnold. He was getting into great positions, putting in balls, like crosses. He was absolutely smashing his crosses. But Liverpool looked tired, guys. Salah looked absolutely dead on his feet. The penalty he took, guys, he took a penalty. Wijnaldum took a kind of free kick, and it hit the arm of Kamara, and I mean it was fine. I mean, but the penalty which Salah took, it barely went in. Ariola almost saved it, guys. It was right down the middle, and it almost got saved. So not very encouraging for people like me who brought him in on a hit. But it was fine. I mean, he got 7 points. That was the minimum that we would expect from him. So from Liverpool, I wouldn't. I wouldn't own anyone. They're conceding goals. They're not keeping clean sheets. There is a question in my mind whether Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold are even worth it at this price, guys, because they haven't got too many attacking returns this season as well. So we have to think about that. Salah, if you have him, fine. If you have Jota, by the way, guys, he's out for 6 weeks as confirmed on the news. So if you have Jota, might be a decent time to sell him, guys, and look at somebody like Pascal Gross or James Ward-Prowse, or these kinds of options. Moving on, guys. I'm taking a little time to review, but Arsenal versus Burnley. What should I say about this game? No assets. From Arsenal are worth owning at the moment, guys. If you have Aubameyang, I don't know why would you have him, but if you have him, sell him. If you have any of their defenders, Tierney, Bellerin, Arsenal don't look good. I mean, they were playing well until we got a red card, but Arsenal are just not. Their defenders are expensive, and for the same price, you can own somebody like Rhys James. So I think it's better to sell. With Burnley, of course, you can go for their defenders, guys. They're always going to keep clean sheets, right? They're defensively solid, and Charlie Taylor seems to be their best bet. He's nailed on starting games, although he doesn't get many attacking points, but he's decent. Is Charlie Taylor. Other than that, I just don't think any FPL assets from Burnley. So they can't even score a goal, by the way, guys. Aubameyang scored an own goal. Leicester versus Brighton 3-0. The story of my life, guys. The game week was gonna end, and I heard that there was a party in the town, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a party in the town, and but somebody told me I wasn't invited because I sold Jamie Vardy on a hit. By the way, guys, Maddison scored 2 goals. I mean, I don't see Maddison as much of a goal scorer, but he got 2 goals. And I didn't watch the game, by the way, guys, because I was watching the Arsenal game, but I tried to, watch the highlights so that I can give you a brief eye rest. Vardy got 2 assists, Justin got a clean sheet and an assist. And by the way, if you're worried about Castan, guys, like if you're thinking Castan is going to come back and, he's going to take the place of Justin, or Ricardo Pereira is coming back, I can understand the fear in your minds. Excuse me. But until, Justin is benched, I don't see any reason to drop him from the team. I would say keep Justin, keep playing him when he's dropped to the bench for that particular game week. After that, you can decide what to do with him. Until then, you keep him. And from Brighton, I wouldn't say I like any of the assets. I think Pascal Gross is decent. He's on penalties, 5.8 million. And Brighton have good fixtures, by the way, guys. I mean, losing to Leicester doesn't mean that you shouldn't consider Brighton players. I mean, they have Fulham and they have like West Bromwich Albion. So I think you should consider their players. I think you should, you can go for Pascal Gross. I like the look of Danny Welbeck, 5.5. I mean, not the best asset FPL wise, but I think he looks good in a Brighton shirt. Other than that, Tariq Lamptey, guys. By the way, any of you who own Tariq Lamptey, he doesn't have an injury. I think his minutes were getting managed because I think he's saving him for the games against Fulham, and he's saving him for the game against West Bromwich Albion. So he was basically rested. There was no injury. So don't sell Lamptey. Keep him, in my opinion. Vardy, if you have him, guys, it all depends upon your strategy. I mean, I wanted to keep him this week, but I sold him for Salah. The next game week he plays against Everton. Everton don't have the best defense historically this season, but I mean they kept a clean sheet against Chelsea, but playing away from home might be a different prospect. So if you have Jamie Vardy, maybe keep him. Thinking about Maddison, maybe you can think about Maddison. You think he's scored 2 goals, maybe we should go for him. He won't score 2 goals in every game, guys. I mean, I don't see him as much of a goal scorer, so I mean, it might be a one-off, it could be a two-off in a season, but for me, the only players from Leicester that we should be considering, Castan when he comes back, Jamie Vardy. These are the two players from Leicester that I would be considering. All right, guys, it was a long review, and I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to give you a review of the eye test, and now I'll come back and read your comments. There you go. So Douglas says, that's unfortunate. I remember you telling me to keep Vardy. You saved me. Thanks. I'm glad I saved you, Dakla. Salah says, hi bro, don't transfer Vardy out. He will be just lit in the coming weeks. Oh well, I already sold him out for a hit, Saleh, but thanks for the advice. Soman, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, just to cheer my bro. I really appreciate it. I do need some cheering. I've just been a bad day just because of Arsenal. You know, in FPL things happen. You sell players and they do score points. I have enough experience to deal with that. It was more with Arsenal, more to do with Arsenal. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend. Chapman says, who to bring for Jota and what's your plan? I think for Jota, I already told, like James Ward-Prowse, or I'd possibly look at Pascal Gross. With the upcoming fixtures, he could be a really good option in my opinion. I mean, you can look at Ademola Lookman, but I just don't want to go there, you know. Matt says, Vardy out was unlucky, man. Leicester haven't looked that great recently, but Brighton were awful tonight, and that's coming from a Brighton fan. Yep, that was the thinking behind the entire. That was the thinking behind the entire thing, you know. Like, I thought that Vardy hasn't scored a goal at home. I mean, he barely got an assist against Fulham, right? And I mean, you know, sometimes these things just don't work out the way you plan them to. So it's fine, my friend. You know, Trailer says, "Do you go for Arsenal assets?" No, my friend, I don't. Hey George, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Lucas says, "How many points did everyone get?" I mean, that's a fair question. Actually, I need to update my points as well. So before I talk, I think I should write my points so that everybody knows how many points I got in this game week, guys. By the way, my score was 58, guys. It's not a bad score, right? The score is good. What about my total points? I don't know yet, but all right, I'm just gonna update it so that. For this game week, my points are 58, by the way, guys, and took a minus 4 hit, so it's like 54. All right. And George says 70 points. That's fantastic, George. Congratulations, you had a great game week, my friend. I'm so happy for you. And he said Vardy was my captain. That's a great game week to captain Vardy, my friend. Lucas says I got 47. That's kind of the average score this game week, my friend. Yash says, I already took out Salah for the next game. And Yash, who did you bring in? I hope you brought in De Bruyne or maybe Bruno Fernandez. But that's that might not be a bad plan because you know, they've got a difficult fixture. Shopnan says, Chilwell to Rhys James. Shopnan, that may be a two sideways move in my opinion, my friend. If you have Chilwell and if you don't need the funds, I think you should keep Chilwell. Yash says, did you have Vardy this week? No, my friend, I actually sold Vardy for a minus 4 hit, and this is my team. These are my points on the screen, and I didn't have Vardy. I captained Salah, and you know, I sold him for a hit. Jethro says, what's up, Wiz? Removed Vardy for Bamford and had Justin on the bench. Missed out this time, buddy. Unfortunately, Jethro, that was a very unfortunate, my friend. And I mean, to be honest with you, there were no signs of Jamie Vardy coming to life. Against Fulham, he barely got an assist, and against Sheffield United, he managed to score a goal right at the end. But there were no signs that he was gonna go out and kind of you know, score that many points. But the good thing about Vardy is he's not getting 3 bonus points. So I guess, you know, we can take the good things as they come. I think Vardy's gonna get 1 bonus point, so I'm pretty at least happy with that. How many points will he get? I think 13 points, so not that big of a deal in my opinion. Douglas says, what to do with Vardy this fixture run? Thinking of getting rid to fix my defense. I still have Kilman and Mitchell. Douglas, in my opinion, if you don't have your wild card, then you know, you can plan your defense. But otherwise, if you have your wild card, just fix your defense on your wild card and keep Vardy against Everton. In this kind of form, I mean, Leicester looked really good today, so in my opinion, it could be a good time to own Jamie Vardy, because with people selling him last game week, you know, he could be a bit of a differential, but still a very good buy. Amrit says, hi Wiz, I sent you my team on Twitter before game week 13. Hope you can help me there. I'll try my best, Amrit. I will definitely help you. Hey Wiz, got 78 this week, says Nihal. My word, Nihal, that's fantastic. Thinking of Wadi to Bamford and Jota to Bruno. Uh, I mean, to be honest with you, these moves sound good to me, my friend. I mean, Bamford, good fixture. You know, excuse me. Bamford has a decent fixture run now, and I mean, Bruno Fernandez away at Sheffield United is a great captaincy option. So I wouldn't be against those moves. Even though Wadi banged this game week, I still think that that's a decent move. But let's discuss more about that. Gitaria says Wadi replacement. Gitaria, it depends upon who you want to replace him with. Do you want a like for like replacement? I mean, you could look at somebody like Olivier Giroud. You can look at somebody like, if you want to go cheap, you can look at Bamford, you can look at Che Adams, you can look at, maybe Callum Wilson as well. He has a couple of decent fixtures to go as well. So those would be the options if you want to downgrade. If you want to upgrade, the only person to look at is Harry Kane. Maybe not this game week, maybe next game week, but Harry Kane is kind of the player that I would say in attack is worth owning. And if you don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you can look there as well, my friend. Yash says brought Fernandez for Salah and Mahrez for Ziyech. I mean, that's fine, my friend. I mean, I'm not sure about Mahrez, but I think that's kind of a very, very clever move, because Mahrez against small teams is a flat track bully, and they have a lot of fixtures against lower teams, and Mahrez can give you decent returns, my friend. So I agree with your moves, but maybe you'll want Salah back soon, my friend. Noel says, should I get Vardy out for KDB? I mean, Noel, if you can keep Vardy and get KDB, that would be fine. But if you cannot, then I think that's not a bad move in my opinion. Adrian says took Vardy out to get De Bruyne for the next game. That's fine, Adrian. I think that's a good move. KDB has great fixtures. And by the way, guys, target City players now. I mean, let me show you their fixtures. Actually, let me go to the transfer page and let me show you their fixtures so that you know that we should be going for City players now. West Bromwich at home, Southampton away. This is a very tough fixture, guys. They lost at Southampton away at the end of last season, so don't think of this as an easy fixture. But Newcastle home, Everton away, Chelsea away. I mean, I think Everton away should be fine for City. Chelsea away is going to be tough. But after that, guys, Brighton, Crystal Palace, West Brom, Sheffield, Burnley. I mean, if you have De Bruyne, don't even think about getting rid of De Bruyne until game week 22, unless he's injured. I'd say the good combination of City players to own would be, De Bruyne and one defender. That would be the ideal combination. But if you were, if you want to kind of push up the ranks and you want differential, then somebody like Sterling and De Bruyne combination along with one defender could be the way to go, my friends. Peter says, I free hit by accident, ended up on a 25-point free hit. Oh my god, that's so painful to take, Peter. I really feel for you. Your team was good, my friend. I mean, you had Mane, you had Salah, you had Mane captain. Unfortunately, Fulham played like prime Barcelona, my friend. It was unexpected. It was absolutely unexpected. And I really think that Mane and Salah are flat track bullies, as in against small teams they play really well, but Fulham didn't give them an inch of space. Their left back, he played so well against Salah. I mean, and it was very hard game to watch. Liverpool should not have got a draw from that game. They deserve to lose that game. That's how good Fulham were, and that's how bad Liverpool were. But I really feel for you. Commiserations, my friend. But don't worry about your free hit. It's already gone now, so look ahead, Peter. Look ahead. Chopin says from eye test, who's is a good 7.4 million midfielder for Jota. Jota is falling in price tonight. Ward-Prowse or Bowen? I mean, in my opinion, I think they're both great options. Chopin, the only problem with owning Ward-Prowse right now is he has a couple of tough fixtures. I mean, Arsenal away cannot be considered as a tough fixture for Southampton right now, right? In the form Arsenal are, but after that they've got City. I mean, if you can keep him through those fixtures, I think Ward-Prowse might be the way to go, because he's on set pieces, he's on kind of free kicks, corners, and he can kind of get get an assist from open play as well. So I'd like the idea of Ward Prowse. If you're feeling a bit more differential, you can go for Pascal Gross. Reela says, who shall I start, Watkins or Walker Peters? In my opinion, I think Watkins, always the striker, my friend. Noel says, face reveal needed. Today was not a good day to be watching my face cam. Oh my word. But yeah, I already told you, my friend, I wish I could do a face reveal, but hopefully in the future, guys, when we have more, when we have a bigger community and I can do this for a longer time, FPL, and then I'll be happy to do a face reveal. Not a problem. Yash says, I will bring Salah back after their Crystal Palace and Spurs game. I already have managed budget for him. Yash, seems like you have a plan, and I think the plan is good, my friend. I agree with that. Soman says, 72-point game week. Wardy party saved my week. Soman, that's fantastic. Congratulations, my friend, and I hope you keep going. What's your overall rank, Soman? But congratulations on having a great week. Dakla says, early thoughts on Bruno versus KDB captaincy. That is a very, very tough question. To be honest with you, Dakla, there is no logical way of answering that question. KDB at home against West Bromwich, is a peach fixture. But Bruno against Sheffield United is also a peach fixture. The only concern I have right now in my mind is the fans are going to be back at the grounds again in Sheffield United. So maybe Sheffield United will give a better performance than it used to, because last season they had exactly the same players and they were performing really well. So maybe with the fans back, they can be encouraged and they can give a good performance. But with City at home, West Bromwich Albion, in my opinion, Sheffield are the worst team right now. But home advantage would kind of look like we should go for Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion. And the way City are playing at the moment, I'd say they have a chance to score more goals. But I'm gonna think about it more. At this moment in time, I'd say De Bruyne. Noel says, problem with City's Pep Roulette, only KDB and Ederson is safe. Noel, I agree with you, but I'd say Ruben Dias is kind of safe as well. So I'd say Ruben Dias is also pretty much nailed on. Pretty much. Yash says, got 63 points this week, by the way, without any -4. Yash, that is a fantastic game week for you, my friend. Keep going, guys. Keep going. I mean, when you have a good game week, try to back that up with another good game week. And that's how, when you stack up good game weeks, guys, your overall rank will really, really skyrocket. You just need to kind of back up. If you keep having like a good game week and then you have a couple of bad game weeks, so it's like 1 step forward and 2 steps back for you. If you want to propel yourself up the ranks, plan for the future, make your moves, and with those future plan, you should have a good game week, in my opinion. Jake says, Salah out for Fernandez for a 1-week punt. Jake, I wouldn't be averse to that, but in my opinion, at home, Salah can score against anyone. But, and to be honest with you, I think Klopp is going to be furious. He was absolutely furious during the game. He was actually shouting from the touchline and telling Liverpool players to wake up. He was like, wake up, what are you doing? And I mean, he's definitely gonna give them a good kick up their backsides, and maybe Liverpool are gonna come strong against Spurs, and Salah can score against anyone. But right, if you want to captain Bruno Fernandez against Sheffield United, I wouldn't be against that transfer. Looks good. Noel says, I'm thinking of changing formation to 3-5-2. Currently I play 3-4-3. I mean, in my opinion, Noel, I think it all depends upon which 3 strikers you play with. If you have 3 cheap strikers, maybe like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, Wilson, Watkins, Che Adams, I think 3-4-3 is also a decent formation. With 3-5-2, you're gonna, you have to kind of shuffle around. And in my opinion, I always feel that 3-5-2 kind of hinders your team balance. Because, once you're playing with 5 midfielders and you have to get decent midfielders in, because there is no 4.5 or 5 million midfielder which you're going to play week in, week out, right? So that is, in my opinion, the problem. But if you can make a good team, then then you should go for it, my friend. Opposite Lock says, does Wadi to Jesus make sense? Opposite, in my opinion, not so much, because Aguero was ill at the weekend. He wasn't injured. he's coming back. So once he comes back, does Gabriel Jesus start all the games? I'm just not so sure, my friend. Not sure about that. El Shbani says, I'm gonna sell Gabriel for stones. Go for it. I mean, why do you have Gabriel in the first place, my friend? Get him out of your team and if you can get Ruben Diaz, it would be better. But if you cannot, I think Stones has started the last 3 games. I think Pep is trusting him right now. Laporte cannot get into the team, so. But I would still say, if you want a nailed-on City defender, go for Diaz. Yash says, good night, bro. Or good morning, says 3 in the morning. Well, my friend, such is life of an FPL content creator. We have to go through the grind, and I love talking about FPL. Even if it's 3 a.m., I'm just gonna do it. But thank you so much for being here, Yash, and I really appreciate it. And congratulations for having a great game week. Good night. So my friends, 58 points this week, and was looking pretty good. And let me see what my rank is. And we by the way, I would also like to show you, which I always do in this aftermath stream, my strategy this season, guys, is to go behind my captains, to play aggressive, to take hits, to get the best captaincy option for the game week in my team. So you can see my total captain points, and this is the website where I'm checking this. The website is called Premier Fantasy Tools. You can go there, you can put in your FPL ID, and you can check your points. So I've got 206 captain points, which amounts to about 17.2 points per game week. I mean, if I can push this up to like 20 points per game week, I would be really happy. But guys, this was the strategy, and this is what I'm trying to go for. What I need to do is I need to kind of curb my hits a little. I mean, there's always a time for reflection in FPL, and I have a strategy to play this game this season that even if I have to take a hit, I'm going to bring in the player who I want to captain, right? And it is going fine for me. But sometimes you sell the players which you don't want to sell. For example, I'll tell you what mistakes I made, right? So if you had a look at this page, I am gonna go back to. Yeah, so I'll tell you what mistakes I made in hindsight, right? So after the Son haul against City, I had Kane and Son both, right? I kept Son, but I sold Kane against Chelsea, right? I sold Kane against Chelsea for Jamie Vardy because Jamie Vardy was playing against Fulham. I mean, Vardy barely got 5 points, and I sold Harry Kane for Jamie Vardy. So that was a mistake in my opinion, because Vardy got like 5 points against Fulham and he got 8 points against Sheffield United. And in the couple of game weeks, Kane got 13 points against Arsenal and 2 against Chelsea. So basically Kane outscored Vardy, and I had to take a hit for that as well. And then and when Vardy hauled, I don't have in my team because I went for Salah with this aggressive captaincy thing, right? So maybe I need to curb my strategy. I need to kind of reflect on what I'm doing, and I need to think about my strategy. But the thing is, I at least I'm nailing my captains, and I'm happy with that. So but I'm going to look into the strategy, guys, and I'm going to try to improve it. I'm trying to find out the different strategies of playing this game, and these things are working for me. And I honestly feel that if you nail your captain, it's very hard to have a bad game week. And per se, I haven't had a bad game week. Even this game week, I've got 58 points. I took a hit for Vardy, right? I could have had like maybe 15 more points if I had just captained Vardy and kept Hakim Ziyech. But there was a problem. I had Ziyech in my team, and 8.2 million burning a hole in my pocket, and he was falling in price as well. So that was one consideration, that I wanted to replace Hakim Ziyech. And 2, I thought Salah was going to score at least 1 goal and 1 assist against Fulham. So maybe a little bit change in the strategy, guys, but it is going to continue the same way. I am going to try and nail my captains. That is the strategy. Soman says, thinking of Vardy to Bruno after the Everton game and shift to 3-5-2. We'll have Son, Bruno, KDB, Grealish, and Bruno. My friend, if you can have Bruno twice in your team, I would be all for that. I know you don't mean that, but having 2 Bruno Fernandez in your team, penalties all around. Charlie Bartlett says, am I listening to a real person or a translator? I don't know what you mean, Charlie. I don't know what that means, but if you can elaborate, if you can, if you can say, then I can. I'll answer your question, Charlie. So, by the way, I can tell you I'm from India, and English is not my first language, but you know, I try my best. If that's what you mean. Oh, okay. I don't know. Uh, do I sound robotic? Maybe it's my mic. Maybe it's the settings on my mic. I'm gonna have a look. I actually am gonna have a listen after the stream. But anyways, thanks for your comment. I appreciate it. Opposite Lock says, who to bring in place of Robertson? I'd say a City defender looks like a good idea at this moment in time, my friend. And you know, I'd say if you want to play safe, you should go for Ruben Diaz. And you know, if you want to keep Robertson, Liverpool have good fixtures. Here, let me show you their fixtures. Have a look. You know, they've got, after Tottenham, they've got Crystal Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley. I mean, these are all decent fixtures, but the problem is Liverpool are not keeping clean sheets, right? And that is kind of a problem for me. You know, that is the reason 7.2 million on Robertson just doesn't seem worth it. Just doesn't seem worth it. But I mean, if you want to replace him, I'd say you should downgrade. Go for somebody like Rhys James. Go for somebody like Ruben Diaz. Take money out of that defense and invest it elsewhere on players who are actually, you know, getting good returns and are value for money. I just don't feel that Robertson is value for money because there are more defenders at less price which are outperforming him this season, you know. I mean, he's gonna get a haul soon, I know that, but you know, still, the money which is stuck in Robertson can be better used elsewhere. So yeah, Charlie says, oh right, well, fair enough, makes sense. Cheers, my friend. Null says, Bruno, KDB, Salah, Grealish, Son. How is that mid? That is the ideal midfield, my friend. And if I was to wildcard, I would possibly, you know, have that midfield as well. And everybody who would wildcard now would have that midfield. Bruno, KDB, Salah, Grealish, and Son. That is the way to go, in my opinion. But the problem with that midfield, in my opinion, is that it kind of makes your team weak in other areas. And that is what I'm concerned with. But that is a fire midfield. And well, I love that. Charlie says, nah, I get it if English isn't your first language. Yeah, that's all fine, my friend. So Opposite Lock says, thanks, buddy. You're welcome, my friend. Charlie says, good time to play the free hit next game week. Charlie, in my opinion, it all depends upon your strategy. What I'd like to do is I like to save my free hit for, you know, the blank game weeks, or possibly if I make a strategy for the double game weeks, because you know, when you make a team for the long term, and suddenly a blank game week comes along, right? For example, in game week 18, is it West Ham United and which team is it? I kind of forget. Leeds United. I think West Ham United and Leeds don't have a match in game week 18, but then they're gonna possibly have a double game week in game week 19. So for such kind of game weeks is the time that I save my my free hit. But if you feel you have to use it, you should go for it. But it should all be a part of the plan, in my opinion, my friend. It should all be a part of the plan. You know, don't just use it because you didn't have a good game week and you kind of wanna you know, be trigger happy and change all the things. So in my opinion, Nihal is right. West Brom and West Ham blank game week. So West Brom and West Ham are not the teams that we own too many players from, so we should not be too much concerned about that. But further in the season, due to FA Cup fixtures, there are gonna be more blank game weeks. So in my opinion, for those game weeks, free hit is the best option. You know, so if I was you, I'd possibly keep it, but each to his own. You know, it all depends upon how your team looks and what your strategy is. The Occult says Son to Mahrez for the West Brom game for -4. I mean, to be honest with you, my friend, it's very, very hard to advocate taking Son out, you know, and get Mahrez for the West Brom game. I mean, just for one game week, don't take out Son. In my opinion, Son is in the form of his life and he can score against anyone. But even if he doesn't score, if you want Mahrez for long term, I'd say maybe, right? But I mean, if you don't want Son for long term, then I'd say just for one game week, I'd say it's a very difficult decision for me to kind of make. I'd say no, right? Keep Son. you might have some value attached with Son as well, and if you sell him, you want to get him back, and you have to pay more money for him. For one game week with Mahrez -4 doesn't make sense to me, my friend. Noel says your English is good, bro. Thank you so much, Noel. Aditya says Jota and Brewster out for Bissouma and Bamford. That's I mean, doesn't look bad to me in my opinion, my friend. I mean, Bissouma is kind of gonna be a bench player, right? And Bamford is kind of in good form, and he's ticking over nicely. So I'd say why not? Brewster is not starting for Sheffield, and Jota is out for 4 to 6 weeks. So good idea in my opinion. Opposite Lock says it's West Bromwich Albion. Yeah, I agree with that. I made a mistake. Avnish says, hey Wiz, I have KDB, Hazes in my team. Should I bring in Torres, Foden, or Jota, or bring Grealish? Avnish, go for Grealish, my friend. There is no doubt in my mind that out of these options, Grealish is the best option. Josh says KDB for Kane. Josh, if you want to, you can, in my opinion. But after game week 15, in game week 16, I'd say you would want Kane back, because I'll show you the fixtures, and their fixtures are turning in game week 16, and not just turning by a little. It's gonna be a crazy fixture swing. Look at that. 16 Fulham, 17 Leeds, 18 Aston Villa, 19 Sheffield United. Okay, they have a game week 20 Liverpool, then they got Brighton, Chelsea and West Brom. So if you want to replace Kane with KDB, you can possibly, because they are not the best fixtures here, but the form Kane is in, it is very hard to kind of advocate taking him out right now. Second thing is his ownership. Kane is very highly owned as well, but if you take him out, my friend, have a plan to get him back by game week 16. That would be my advice to you. Charlie says, okay, fair enough. I don't think I really do. I've just got 71 points and I'm at 420k overall rank, which is good for me being my second season. Charlie, 420k at this point in time is a great rank. There's like 7 million people playing this game and you've got 420k. I think it's a good rank to push up. Keep your chips, and if you play your chips correctly, I think you can very well finish the season in the top 50k at the rank you are now. The variances are going to reduce, the reliability of the players is going to increase, and if you can catch the fixture swings, if you can plan for the future, I think you should be good. So in my opinion, keep your free hit. Hang on guys, let me have a drink of water please. If you haven't liked this stream, why not? Hit like and subscribe. Alright, I'm back. Soman says, Vardy to Bruno after Everton game and shift to 3-5-2. I will own Son, Bruno, KDB, Grealish, Salah, Wilson, Bamford. Soman, I like that. I like that move, and I think that's a great midfield. And the good thing is, I like the strikers as well. Bamford and Wilson are really good options in that price category. So I'd say thumbs up, my friend. Go for it. Charlie says, is KDB a must-have for the next game week? To be honest with you, Charlie, I just don't like to use these kinds of terminology in terms of FPL. I think no player in FPL is a must-have. So, for example, like for this game week, everybody said Salah was a must-have, and I sold Jamie Vardy and I went for Salah and I took a hit as well. It didn't turn out to be the best decision, right? So sometimes, there are a combination of players which can do well, right? So no player is must-have, but I think KDB is desirable, not just for the next game week, but in my opinion, for long term, I think they have great fixtures. So in my opinion, KDB is desirable. West Brom, Newcastle, after that they have a couple of difficult ones, but I still feel that KDB is a good option for until game week 22, just like Harry Kane is a good option from game week 16 to game week 23. So no must owns in my opinion, but very desirable would be the right word in my opinion. So what I'd like to talk a little bit about my team, guys, because I've been answering your questions. I gave you a brief review of the eye test of the game week. So what am I planning to do next game week? To be honest with you, if we go and look at my team straight away, right? I mean, I don't think I need to do too much in this game week. Kind of maybe bring Ailing in the team, and the team looks fine. Maybe there's a problem here that I've got Robertson against Spurs and Salah against Spurs, and Liverpool are not in the best of form, neither defensively nor attacking wise. So it might be a problem. So one thing which I can do is maybe, I'm just not sure what I'm gonna do right now. So this is just kind of impulsive. What I'm thinking, I could take out Salah for one game week and move him to Sterling. Let me show you what I can do, and I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but I just want to show you what my possibilities are, because I can take him out and I can bring Sterling, for this game week, and even if I bring Sterling, by the way, guys, I'm gonna captain De Bruyne, right, or Bruno Fernandez. I am not going to captain Sterling. I'm not going to captain many times. I'm not going to captain the player who doesn't take penalties. Up till now, the players that I've captained, let me show you, by the way, let's analyze. Okay, so the players that I've captained until now: Aubameyang penalties, Salah penalties, Kane penalties, Bruno Fernandes penalties, Vardy penalty, De Bruyne penalty, Salah penalty. I mean, that is just kind of a security at the back of my mind that I have captained a player who can score a goal from more than one way, right? He can score a goal from open play, and he can score a goal from penalties or from set pieces, and that is the security that I want from my captain. And that is the reason, even if I bring in Sterling, I am not going to captain Raheem Sterling. I'm going to captain Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne. So that's the logic behind what kind of trying to do this season as well. So, but this could be a move that I'm interested in, guys, but nothing is nailed on yet. I'm going to think about it, with a calm mind tomorrow, but this is in my mind. I want to target the West Brom fixture. I feel that City can score 2, 3, 4, 5 goals. Pep Guardiola is going to be livid with City of kind of throwing away the opportunity to win the Manchester derby, and I think City are going to go hard against West Bromwich Albion. It would have been better had City lost the game. They would have absolutely smashed them, but a draw is still fair, and I feel that City is gonna go hard against West Bromwich Albion, and this could be a move which I'm thinking about. But if I want to be conservative and I want to plan for the next 2 game weeks, by the way, guys, whatever moves I make are not long-term moves. Reason, I have my wildcard and it's going to expire in game week 16, so I am going to use my wildcard before game week 16, right? So whatever moves I make are not going to be focused on long term. They are basically just short term moves. So I'm kind of taking a punt. Maybe I can kind of consider taking a punt. So what I can do is, if I want to go safe and I can go for somebody like Ruben Diaz. And if I'm feeling more kind of maverick, I can go with somebody like Benjamin Mendy, and I think he's going to play because he was rested against United, so he can play against West Bromwich Albion. So that is kind of the maverick move that I have the freedom to make because I have my wildcard in my back pocket. If it goes horribly wrong, I'm just going to use my wildcard in game week 16 anyway. So these are the couple of moves that I'm kind of planning. I wish I had some money in the bank so I could upgrade maybe Ailing to 2 Stones, and then I wouldn't have to kind of take out Robertson or but I don't have any money in the bank right now. I've got 0 million, so whatever transfer I make, it's gonna have to be downgrade or can't upgrade a player with this no money in the bank. Someone says 750k for now. That's a good rank, Suman. I like that. Charlie says problem is only players I can transfer out for him are Salah, Son, Kane or Bruno. Charlie, that's always going to be the problem. The actual problem in this game is this season there are many good premium options. Every season this is not the problem, but this season, the premiums, there are a lot of premiums and all the premiums are doing pretty well, right? So you have to select, you have to pick and choose, and that's where the game lies. For example, you go for Jamie Vardy and then you have to leave out Harry Kane. You go for Mo Salah, and maybe Bruno Fernandez, then and Harry Kane, then you have to leave out KDB, and that is the entire game, right? That is the game of chess that you are playing. Which is the right time to bring in a player, and which is the right time to transfer out a player. That is a part and parcel of the game, in my opinion. Rohit says, just tuning in now. Oh, that's nice, Rohit. Welcome. Hello, everyone. As an Arsenal fan, I just needed a breath of fresh air after that game. Rohit, I wish I had that privilege, but I had already set up a live stream, and I had to come live stream. I'm glad I could come here and I could share with you guys whatever I was feeling. I just came here and I took a small 2-minute rant before I started the stream. I hope that didn't put you off too much. But welcome. Soman says, thanks Wiz, good night everyone. Please support the channel. Thanks Soman, good night. Have a great one. Chopman says, what was your overall rank in this time when your overall rank was 534? So when I achieved the overall rank of 534, I think my overall rank in and around Game Week 12 would be around 5k, Chopman. But don't let that deter you in any way, shape or form. I mean, as I give this example many times on my stream, but I can't help it because, I did it, so I have to give that example again and again. Last season, in and around Game Week 2021, my overall rank was 2.6 million, and I managed to finish in the top 100k. So, with proper planning, future planning, it is possible. If you have a 3 million rank, if you have a 4 million rank, do not sweat it, guys. Do not quit playing the game. Just keep at it. Plan properly. Take a couple of differentials, take a couple of risks, pick and choose your game weeks in which you want to take a punt. For example, if you have a low rank, take a punt on 3 City players against West Bromwich Albion. Take a punt on 3 City players against Newcastle at home. And that's how you can quickly propel the ranks. If Manchester City smash, if Manchester City absolutely smash West Bromwich Albion, and you've got like Mahrez, Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne, or maybe you've got Mendy and or maybe Cancelo, De Bruyne and Jesus, if you have 3 City players and they absolutely smash it, you will absolutely propel the ranks. Your overall rank is going to skyrocket, and that is how you can come up the ranks. But don't go crazy taking hits, and it's just gonna push you back if you're at a low overall rank. But I'm just saying it is doable, guys, no matter what your overall rank is. At this point in the season, I say if you're 3 million, you can finish in the top 100k. 100% you can. I mean, if you are like 1 million, you can finish in the top 10k. It is easily doable, guys. It is not that difficult. Just want to say that. If you have any more questions, guys, let me know. But those are the thoughts for my team. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm gonna attack the game week because at the back of my mind I am still considering that the game week 13 is coming too soon, and there might be rotation, and who worse to kind of deal with rotation as Pep Guardiola. So I don't want to second guess the team by Pep Guardiola, and in my opinion, there is going to be rotation in game week 13 because of it's going to be a very heavy congestion of fixtures, especially in the Christmas period. There always is, and there could be rotation. So try to go for players who are nailed on in their team. For example, Harry Kane, no matter how many games they play in a week, he's going to play each and every game. We know that, and that is what's going to happen. So these kinds of players are very, very desirable at this time. Mo Salah, maybe he's tired. I don't know why Klopp played him in the midweek, like 90 minutes in the Champions League game, but he's one of those players who's undroppable. Not sure about De Bruyne because Pep Guardiola can rotate anyone, but in general, Bruno Fernandez, I'd say, is he's going to play. Maybe he's not going to play an entire game. He's going to come on and play 60 minutes. So in my opinion, go for these kinds of players. And also in defense, central defenders are more desirable at the time of rotation. Fullbacks can be rotated, Centre backs less so. Nehal says updated rank of 280k. Nehal, that's a great jump. I'm so happy for you. I remember we started talking on Discord, when you were playing your wildcard, and I'm so glad that ever since then you've been just, getting green arrows and pushing up, and I'm so happy for you, Nihal. Keep going, my friend, and that's fantastic. By the way, guys, if you would like to join our Discord, the link is in the description. You can join it. It's absolutely free to join, and no strings attached. No strings attached, Shopnan says, do you have an idea of your game week? Shopnan, yeah, I have an idea. I got 58 points, and I can actually tell you my overall rank as well. I just didn't go and check on live FPL because I had to come and live stream. But if you want, right now I can tell you how many points I got. By the way, I don't know how I got 60 points. Maybe, oh, Salah got a bonus point, guys. That's fantastic. So Salah's now not on 14, he's on 16. So the bonus points have been updated, and Salah got 16 points now. So that's a slight jump in the ranks for me, but it looks like I got a red arrow. I was on 600k, and I think it's about maybe I'm gonna end a red arrow of 100k places, around 700k. Live FPL is still calculating, not sure why. So alright, 678. So I'm on basically 678k, guys. This is my updated rank. Nehal says, do you think Salah looked tired today? I think so, my friend. I really think so. I think Salah did look tired, and it was not about being tired. Sometimes you get tired when you don't get the ball, right? Salah is the kind of player who likes to get involved in the game, and I mean, I think he was kind of, kicked out of the game a little bit. He was marked out of the game. The left back, he marked Salah. It was like basically man marking him, right? And to be honest with you, Salah just couldn't receive the ball without too much pressure on him, and I think it took a toll on him, and he could be fatigued mentally as well as much as physically, because in my opinion, I don't think he should be physically fatigued, since he had a rest because he was out with corona and he didn't play too many games in that period. But I think he could be mentally fatigued as well. But if you have him, and if you want to keep him against Spurs, I feel that Salah is kind of a player who is a big game player, big match player, and he loves playing against Spurs. By the way, let me look into my crystal ball for you guys, and let me tell you, how does Salah do against Spurs? So crystal ball, can we have Salah's record against Tottenham in the Premier League? My crystal ball is doing the research, guys, and it'll tell us very soon what is Mo Salah's record against Tottenham. In my opinion, from my eye tests, I feel that Salah must have a great record against Tottenham. Let me tell you right now. So guys, in 6 games against Spurs, Salah has scored 4 goals and 1 assist, and that is a good record in my opinion. That's a fantastic record. Buckshot says replacement for Jota. My friend, I'd say, you can go for somebody like Pascal Gross, Ward-Prowse. I mean, I also like the look of, if Barkley is back, they have great fixtures. You can go for Barkley as well. But I'd say Ward-Prowse, Pascal Gross look the real deal. You want to look at Ademola Lookman, you can do that as well. Nehal says, thanks for the help with my wildcard on Discord. Thank you so much for the super chat, Nehal. I'm always glad to help, my friend. Always glad to help. And I really wish that you get to the rank that you aimed for at the start of the season, and if I can be of little help, that would be my pleasure. Caleb says, do I replace Barkley or look to boost defense 2 million in the bank? To be honest with you, I think Barkley should be back very soon, and they have good fixtures. Let me look at the fixtures of Aston Villa for you. Burnley, West Bromwich Albion, Crystal Palace. The next 3 fixtures are pretty decent, and if Barkley can come back, I think you can keep Barkley, since you've kept him for such a long time, right? I don't see the point of selling him now, Caleb. So in my opinion, you can keep him. Ray says, all in for Manchester City and United. I just transferred in Mahrez and Bruno, already have KDB. Alright, so you already made your transfers, Ray, and I like the look of those transfers. Good luck to you for Game Week 13, my friend. I hope you get a big fat green arrow. BZ says, hey mate. Hey BZ, welcome my friend. Reckless says, what do you think about Grealish giving away the penalty to El Ghazi? I really don't know what to think about that, to be honest with you. I was a little bit, what can you say? Well, I just didn't like the look of it. Grealish is the captain of that team. He should be taking the responsibility to take the big penalty, the big, he should be the main man of that team. And when he had the chance, I mean, he was the designated penalty taker. I don't know why he gave it to El Ghazi, but after the game, their manager, he categorically stated that Grealish was the one who was set to take it, but he gave it to El Ghazi. So El Ghazi is not a starter for Aston Villa, and I think Grealish should be on penalties from now on, and I think that's a very good thing. Shopman says idea of how your wildcard would look like. Shopman, I'm gonna possibly make a wildcard team, and I'll post it on Twitter, for anybody who wants to do it. But I'd say it's going to have one premium striker in Harry Kane, and it's going to have 5 decent midfielders, so that I can go with the 3-4-3 whenever I like. But most probably I'm also thinking of 3-5-2 on that wildcard. Just the midfield is too difficult to ignore right now. But it's just a very vague idea. BZ says, I just got KDB in instead of Salah. BZ, that might be a decent move. You might want Salah back in a couple of weeks because Salah also has decent fixtures. But for the next game week, I think it's a good move. You see, Salah has, after Tottenham, Salah has Crystal Palace, West Brom, Newcastle, Southampton, Burnley. They are fantastic fixtures, and Salah is a flat track bully. Maybe not against Fulham, but one of these or a couple of these games he's going to haul. That's what we expect from him. So for this game week, I think that's a decent decision. Nahal says Bamford or Watkins for Vardy for the upcoming fixtures. Nahal, I would love to say Watkins, because Watkins has next a couple of really good fixtures in the next 3. But long term, since you've already used your wildcard, I'd say definitely go with Bamford. One more reason I'm telling you to go with Bamford is because now Watkins is not on penalties for Aston Villa, so that takes off the added advantage that Watkins had over Bamford. So I'd say 100% I would go with Bamford. Giroud says 42 points. With just the 17 points on the bench and 11 points transferred out for 2 blankers. Oh my god, Giroud. That is so cruel, my friend. That is I really feel for you. I mean, I know who you transferred out. If you say 11 points transferred out, that means you transferred out Jamie Vardy. So did I, my friend. But such is life in FPL. What we can do is we can plan for the future, and we hope, that in the next game week you get a big fat arrow. And guys, it is a good game week to have a bad game week, right? It's kind of a paradox, right? But what I want to say is that the next game week is just around the corner, so we don't have too many days to sulk. We can just move on, and we can have a great game week, and you'll be happy soon. I love to watch smiling faces of all my viewers, and that is the reason I always say may the arrows be green, and I really mean that. But I really hope you have a great game week 13, and you have a beautiful smile on your face. It's gonna be fine, my friend. FPL is up and down. Nothing in life always goes up. If you watch all the distributions, no practical distribution is going to look like an exponential. But let's not go into the maths here. Okay, coming back to FPL. Nihal says El Ghazi takes a lot of penalties in training. I think El Ghazi is the penalty specialist, and when he's on the pitch, I think he's going to be the one to take the penalties. But generally, I think Grealish is the one. If El Ghazi is not there, then Grealish is going to be the one, Nihal. Caleb says, okay, then I'm looking to replace one of my 4.5 million defenders, Ayling, Kyle Walker-Peters, Sofal. Who should I go for? Only premium defender I have at the moment is Chilwell. I mean, if you don't have Ayling, Kyle Walker-Peters or Sofal, in my opinion, Kyle Walker-Peters not right now because he has difficult fixtures. I mean, Arsenal, City, Fulham, United. The only good fixture here I see is Fulham. Other than that, like Leeds away is difficult, Liverpool, West Ham. So I would say no Kyle Walker-Peters right now. I think Ayling looks to be the better bet. Newcastle at home, Burnley at home, West Bromwich away. I think Ayling could be a decent option. Sofal and Ayling would be your best options in my opinion at this moment. Nehal says, already answered that. BZ says, who would you get in for Fornals? That's a very interesting one, BZ. In my opinion, I would say if you want to take a punt, you could go for Pascal Gross. He has the next couple of really good fixtures. in my opinion, I mean, you can make a like for like replacement and you can go for Jared Bowen as well. I think Bowen is a good prospect for the similar price range. Other than that, in that price range, I like the look of James Ward-Prowse. I think he is a very good option at 6.2 or 6.3 million, however much his price is now. Shopman says Jota out, Ward-Prowse or Madison. I'm not sure about Madison. I think their fixtures are turning now, right? Let me have a look for you. Unfortunately, I don't have any Leicester players, so I'm gonna have to look here. But yeah, look at their fixtures. Don't go for James Madison now. I mean, if I was you, I wouldn't do it. See, Tottenham away, United at home, Crystal Palace away is also not an easy fixture, right? Newcastle away, Chelsea. In my opinion, not. Don't go for James Madison. I think Ward-Prowse is a better bet, in my opinion, my friend. Akal says, what do you think about Souček or Bowen in for Jota? I think if you can, you should go for Thomas Souček. You know, against teams who don't defend headers really well, Thomas Souček is an absolute beast, you know. Fellaini went to China and, he gave us a gift in the form of Thomas Souček. And in my opinion, Arsenal needed Thomas Souček against Tottenham, because the amount of crosses Arsenal are putting in the box these days without having a striker who can head the ball. I mean, how many goals does Aubameyang score with his head? But Arsenal insists on, crossing the ball all the time and having nobody like Souček. In my opinion, I would say 4.9 or 5 million for Souček is an amazing value. I think we should all own Souček, for all these game weeks, and very soon in game week 19 he's going to have a double game week as well. So in my opinion, Souček, and that will save you some money as well. Caleb says, oh no, I worded it wrong. I have those three. I want to replace one of them. In my opinion, I wouldn't replace any of them, Caleb. I think all three are great options. Don't replace them. If you want, you can maybe get Rhys James in place of Kyle Walker-Peters, but I would say you have good defense. Keep them. Dakla says Souček is a better version of Fellaini in my opinion. Who knows, Dakla, but yeah, he has been scoring a lot of goals ever since he joined West Ham United. He has a knack for goals, and he had a very big hand in saving them from relegation as well, and he's continued his form this season. I would say, guys, he is the best budget enabler in the game, Thomas Souček. Shopman says, can you convince me why Pascal Gross over Ward-Prowse? Have you not seen the Brighton games? I've seen the Brighton games, my friend, and I feel that not today. I mean, they were atrocious against Leicester, but in general, they have been playing good, right? I mean, they're playing well. They drew against Liverpool. They almost drew against Chelsea, and they almost drew against United as well. United got a last-minute penalty, but at home they play well, and their fixtures are decent. So if you want to take a punt, Pascal Gross is good. James Ward-Prowse you can keep for the entire season. He's that kind of player. He can give you returns in any game because he's so good at free kicks and he takes set pieces as well. So long term, James Ward-Prowse. Short term punt, if you want to, you can go with Pascal Gross. I'm just telling you the options, Shopman. You decide, my friend. You have to take the decision. So guys, this has been all about game week 12. Nehal says, Souček has saved 2 of my past game weeks. He has come off the bench twice for 18 points. I reckon I second you, Viz. I absolutely agree with you, Nehal, and you've been lucky to own Souček. I really, really wish I owned Souček. I would actually put him in the team ahead of one of my defenders or one of my strikers, because that is how much I trust him. I already knew that he was going to score against Leeds because Leeds don't defend headers really well, and Souček is really an amazing header of the ball. It helps that he is about 7 foot 2 inches. I'm just joking, but he's really tall, right? So that helps in him dominating the defenders. I'd say amazing player, and I'm gonna get him in on my wildcard unless I want a midfield of Son, KDB, Bruno, Salah, and Grealish. Then Souček is gonna be in my team on my wildcard. Dakla says, will you be doing a stream before game week 13? Yes, Dakla, I'm going to be doing the usual deadline stream 1 hour before the deadline, always, every game week, unless I'm stuck in some work in real life. I'm always going to be streaming on the deadlines. So yeah. Shopman says, who is your captain for the coming game week? KDB or Bruno? I mean, Shopman, that's a very good question and a very difficult one to answer right now because I haven't looked at the stats and I haven't, kind of thought about it yet. But if you ask me now, I would say KDB. As of now, in my mind, I'd say KDB. But I'd still, if I bring in Sterling for Salah, then I will have 2 City players. Then I might captain Bruno. It all depends upon my transfer plan as well. Nehal says, I also think West Ham have the most goal this season from set pieces. It is possible. I mean, they have Antonio and they've got Balbuena, they've got Angelo Ogbonna. They've got so many great headers of the ball, and they've got Cresswell who can put in really decent crosses. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they do. And I really think that Thomas Soucek and when Antonio comes back, they're gonna be one hell of a team, guys. They've been winning football matches with Ole as their striker. I mean, for the love of God, he is, really 45 million for Ole. It was too much. West Ham, what were they thinking? But Newcastle paid so much for Joe Linton, so who knows what's happening. Arsenal paid so much for Pepe. United for Maguire. There have been atrocious signings, all of them. Maybe Maguire is fine. If United fans would differ with me, maybe, but too much money, guys. Caspiano says, is Jota to DCL? Is Jota and DCL to Son and Brewster, or a -4 good move? Caspiano, do you really want to bring in Son? Right now, my friend, he has Liverpool this game week, Leicester the next game week, and Wolves away after that. In my opinion, for a -4, this doesn't sound good to me. If you can replace Jota without taking a -4, I think that would be a better idea, my friend. Nehal says, everyone scores in the team except Ole. Against United, he had an open goal and he nutmegged himself. He just fell on the ground. I don't know what he was trying to do there. De Gea was nowhere in the goal, nowhere to be found, and he still couldn't score a goal. I don't know what Ole, what West Ham were thinking when they bought Halle. But one point in defense of Sebastian Halle that I would like to offer here is that he is not the kind of player how West Ham are using him. He's not the player who's going to run in behind defenses. He should be the kind of the target man, and he should have players who run past him, right? That is not how West Ham are playing at the moment, so maybe that's the reason he's not being that effective. Pratik says, is Mahrez a good option, removing Ward-Prowse? Pratik, if you want to take a punt on Mahrez, he is a decent option. My only concern always is that is he nailed on? I'm just not sure about that. Mahrez keeps coming in and out of the team. He started how many? 10 games? Let me check for you. Let me check for you so that we don't have a problem with our knowledge about him. So there you go. So he didn't start. Obviously, the first game we keep blanked. After that, he didn't start in one game, right? And so basically, he's that's an interesting stat. I was thinking he didn't start in more games, but he has just missed the Liverpool game. So other than that, he's essentially started in all the games, guys, and that's very interesting to me. Against United, 65 minutes. So there is a kind of a trend here which we can see. Against the big teams, Pep doesn't start him maybe, or likes to play him for less time, or maybe he was being less effective against United. That is the reason he subbed him off. But I think Mahrez could be a decent shout, guys. And I just, in my head, I had he didn't start 3 games, but he just didn't start 1 game. So Pratik, in my opinion, I think Mahrez can be a decent shout, especially against smaller teams. He is amazing. He's a flat track bully if you ever saw one. So if you want to go for him, removing Ward-Prowse, you can, because Southampton fixtures are turning a little bit, and I wouldn't be averse to that. I think that's a good solid signing. Riyad Mahrez is, and can give you good rewards. So yeah. About my team, I would like to tell you guys. I took out Vardy last game week, and I brought in Ollie Watkins. But the reason to bring him in was not the game against Wolves, right? The reason was Burnley, West Brom, and Crystal Palace. in game week 16, I'm going to use my wildcard. So for the tough fixtures, I'm not going to have Ollie Watkins. I just have 3 more game weeks to go before I use my wildcard, unless I have an atrocious like injuries in my team or anything like that. Then game week 16 is the one I've penciled to use my wildcard. And the reason why I want to use my wildcard in game week 16, as I already told you, and I would like to repeat myself again, guys, is that to target the Spurs fixtures which are turning in game week 16, it is a brilliant time for me to use my wildcard. Fulham, Leeds, Aston Villa, Sheffield away, and for these games I'm gonna have Kane and Son both in my team, and hopefully, I can attack these fixtures, and that is the reason saving your wildcard might have some advantages. Dakla says, who should I prioritize getting out first, Kilman or Mitchell? I'd say maybe you should prioritize getting out Kilman because he's more expensive and he's blocking more funds. Mitchell and Kilman both don't look like starting, although Kilman has more chance of starting than Mitchell does, but he's also blocking more funds, so in my opinion, Kilman. I would take out Kilman first, Dakla. So by the way, guys, for all of you who are listening, it's around 4 a.m. in the morning here, so if my voice sounds a little bit slurry, it is because I've been watching football all day long to do the eye test, and then I had to do this live stream, and that is the reason my voice might not seem the best. And so it's about 4 a.m. in the morning here. But FPL, guys, that is what we all enjoy talking about, and that is the reason we are here, right? By the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate if you subscribe and do hit like to the stream. So, I told you about my transfer plan, guys, and tomorrow there's not going to be any stream or any video, but day after tomorrow there's going to be a deadline stream in which I'm going to reveal my final team for the game week, my captaincy, and, I will answer your questions as well. And I will answer your questions as well, but I'll tell you my reasons of picking the particular captain and why I made a transfer. But I am going to tomorrow, I'm going to sit and I'm going to rethink a little bit about my strategy. The strategy is very simple this season, guys. Bring the most obvious captain in my team. Even if I have to do it for a hit, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to captain the person I think is going to score the most points that game week. And not only the most points, the one who has the best form and the easiest fixture as well. So I've been doing that, guys, and I think it's been working a little bit, but I have also suffered a little bit with this strategy, because the players that we take out of our teams are also they have the ability to score points, and like I took out Kane from my team and he scored points. I took out Son, he scored points, and I took out Vardy now for Salah and he scored points. So I'm gonna have to rework my strategy a little bit, but looking at the bigger picture, it is still working. So before I go, guys, I would like to show you this website where I check for the prices of the players, about which player is going to rise and which player is going to fall. It is a pretty accurate website, by the way, guys, and if you don't know this website, it is called fplstatistics.co.uk. So this website shows us that Zaha is going to rise and is very close to rising. It's already above 100%. Ward-Prowse, by the way, guys, whoever is looking to bring in Ward-Prowse, he's also going to rise, and in my opinion, Mo Salah is also going to, because the transfer deadline or the price rise deadline is about in 3 or 4 hours from now, and in that time Salah is going to cross 100% as well. So he's gonna have a good chance of rising in value. So this is about the risers. Madison 73.8, very quickly going up, as you can see, 3 arrows. That means many people are getting him. Same with Bamford, Salah 2 arrows. Ward-Prowse and Zaha were going up slowly, but they're already in the 100. Who's going to fall? Oopsie, hang on. These ads. So who's gonna fall? Jota is going to fall. It's definitely gonna fall, right? 108. James Rodriguez looks like he's gonna fall. So if any of you own him, Barclay possibly going to fall. Castan, Tierney, Doherty, I don't think anybody has him now. Oh my god, there's too many ads. So Cody, I don't think any of us owns Cody as well. So, but these are the main main players that are going to fall are Jota, Rodriguez, Barclay, Tierney. So if any of you own, so do check this website, guys. It's very helpful for me, and I honestly think they cannot be 100% accurate because they are using algorithms to predict the price rises and falls, but they're still pretty close to what actually happens. Nehal says, insomnia a bit much. Well, Nehal, when you do FPL, when you do this kind of content, my friend, sometimes you just have to do it. And I would love to go and sleep, and I'm probably going to go off soon as well. I've been streaming for around 1.5 hour, and I didn't realize it. So hopefully, I'm just gonna end the stream soon, and I'm gonna go off to sleep. Nehal says, keeping Wadi this week and getting Bruno out paid off for me to fund Salah this week. I second your thought of getting the best captain choice for a hit. Well, Nihal, that is a good strategy, but the only point is I've gained from this strategy, as in I've nailed my captains, right? But then the players you transfer out, they also score some points, and that can hurt sometimes. Chapman says, is Gross in penalties? Yeah, he confirmed. The manager, he said that Neil Mope is no longer on penalties. Pascal Gross is the official penalty taker for Brighton. So that has been confirmed. And they have good fixtures as well. I'd like to reiterate that. So my friends, if you have any question for me, let me know. And I think... Oh, there you go. Lewis Martins is here, guys. The one and only member of the channel until now. And welcome you, Lewis. I hope you had a great game week, my friend. How was your game week? Let us know your points and how is it going. By the way, guys, about my team, I still, I'm dubious. But yeah, by the way, somebody was asking me about a wildcard. So if I have to wildcard, I am, I have two options. But I really think that this would be a really good midfield. I know many of the people are going with this midfield, right? They are getting Son, and they say that this is the ideal midfield, But in my opinion, if you can get Soucek and then afford Harry Kane instead, I honestly feel that would be a better option. As I just told you in my captaincy talk, that I like owning players who are on penalties, and Kane is on penalties, and I prefer him more than Son. It might be not according to some of your thinking, but I prefer Harry Kane over Heung-min Son if I have to choose one of them. Lewis Martin says 45 points, far from amazing, but the average should be low. Yeah, Lewis, that is kind of an average score, my friend, and we hope that the next game week is going to be better for you. And the good thing, as I already said, that game week 13 is right around the corner, so we don't have too much time to dwell on a bad game week. We quickly move on, and we have a great game week, and everything is rosy and shiny. So yeah, that's I hope for the best. So I've been streaming for around 1.5 hours, guys, and I'd like to close. Caspiano says, what's your squad value? It is not the best because of the strategy as well, Caspiano, and that is one more thing that I need to be concerned about. But I can tell you my squad value right now is 101.4. So it's not the best, but I think I can make do with that. I can make do with that with the enablers when I use my wildcard. Lewis says, I did Fernandez and Zaha out for Salah and Bone. I am so happy with what I've done. Yeah, that is fine, my friend. And for the next game week, possibly Bruno Fernandez is a really good option. But against City, Bruno Fernandez, obviously I think Salah against Fulham was the better option in my opinion. Pratik says, Son out for KDB, then back again in game week 16. Definitely, my friend. If you can do that, I'd say that's a good idea. I mean, if you don't have too much value attached with Son, then get KDB and get Son back in game week 16. I feel that's a good idea. Lewis, by the way, this game week Bruno has a great fixture against Sheffield United, so you might wanna think about that as well. Salah has Spurs this game week, and that is the problem with having these premium players. When they play each other, like if somebody owns Salah, Son, and Kane, I mean, this game week is going to be very hard for them. Although they might score, right? Even in the big games, there are goals and players do score goals. But going into the game week, you just don't feel comfortable and confident when your big premium players are playing against each other. And that was the case with KDB and Bruno Fernandez. So yeah. With this, guys, I think Lewis says I will captain KDB. Salah has better fixture in the next couple of games compared to Fernandez. I mean, I like your strategy, my friend. I mean, some of us, we have, like, for me, I've got all of them, right? I've got Salah, I've got De Bruyne, I've got Fernandez, but I've got them on the stake of having no premium players. I don't even have Dominic Calvert-Lewin anymore in my team, because to fund all these players, I had to go for 3 cheap forwards, and maybe this can work. I mean, this game week it was fine. I mean, Adams got 8 points and Bamford got 5 points. But long term, I don't think this is a sustainable strategy. Having 3 premium midfielders, I feel it is too much. When I make my wildcard squad, I will definitely, I'm going to give this a very deep thought. But I prefer to have 1 premium forward, and I prefer to have my money spread around. Too much money in midfield, sometimes it hinders your squad as well. Nehal says, what are your thoughts on premium player rotation according to the fixtures? Nehal, that is what I've been trying to do with my captaincy, right? I've been trying to go after the captains that I feel that the premium players that are good for captaincy. I haven't shied away from taking a hit, even though I have to take out a premium player to get another one because I want to captain him. The problem is the team value. If you've got, like, I had value associated with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I sold him for 7.5 million, but if I want to buy him back, it would be for 8 million, or 7.9 now. Same with Son, same with Kane, and that is the only problem, because premium players tend to rise very quickly, and once you sell them, to bring them back, you need to have money in the bank. Other than that, I think it's a fairly good strategy. If you can work it properly, if you can play your chips correctly, I think it's a great strategy, and that is what we are going to be trying to do this season. I'm going to try to do that. Caspiano says, do you think Souček and Kane is a better duo to have than Son and Wilson? Caspiano, yeah, that's a very difficult question. It all depends upon how Wilson plays, because in my opinion, Son and Kane are going to return most of the game weeks, right? Especially in the easier games. So the whole point is Souček versus Wilson, and I feel that at the end of the season, if you sum up the points of Souček and Kane and Son and Wilson, there won't be much difference. So I think it's about at par with each other, this duo. Pratik says, who's going to be a captain? Pratik, I have to kind of do more analysis, but at this moment in time it is on Kevin De Bruyne, but I'm going to do more analysis. Kareem says, what's your thought on Jota out for Foden? In my opinion, my friend, I wouldn't go for Foden because he hasn't started so many games. He's been in and out of the team. Let me show you my like how many games has Foden started. So many people kept faith in Foden since the start of the season, but he's just not been starting. Look here. He hasn't started against Fulham. He didn't get any minutes against United. He got only 23 minutes against Burnley, 18 against Tottenham. Why would you go for such a player? I would never ever go for such a player, even though he might be a differential. But what is the point of having a differential who doesn't start a game? In my opinion, if you want to go for somebody in this price range, I would say Mason Mount from Chelsea, Pascal Gross from Brighton, James Ward-Prowse, Stuart Armstrong, by the way, guys. Stuart Armstrong from Southampton, along with James Ward-Prowse, is a good option. Although he's not on set pieces or anything, but he is in good form. He is a good option, in my opinion, as well. So, Lewis says Foden will almost definitely start against West Bromwich Albion. I agree with you. I mean, he can start against West Bromwich Albion, but again, if you want to take him as a 1 week punt, then that has to be a decision that has to be made consciously, because you have to take him out, because long term he's not going to get too many games, in my opinion. He's going to be in and out of the team. So if you have the kind of a playing style which I have, in which I like to bring in players who are safe, and not too much of a headache, then I wouldn't go for Foden. But if you want to take a punt for 1 week, my friend, then definitely can. I think Pep would want to rest a couple of his players, and maybe Ferran Torres and Phil Foden are going to get game time, and Bernardo Silva as well. So, in my opinion, there is going to be some rotation over the Christmas period. Be ready for that, guys. It's gonna happen anyway. All right, guys. So, I think this is the time that we should end the stream. I've had so much fun chatting to you, and I hope you all had a great game week, guys. By the way, if you didn't, game week 13 is right around the corner. Time to set things right, make right decisions, plan long term, and get a great and get your season back on track. And as I always say, FPL is a long term thing, guys. One game week cannot break your season, and one game week cannot make your season, right? So it is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And when you take it as a marathon, don't try to sprint in a marathon. It just won't work out. And on that note, my friends, I'm going to leave you with thank you so much for being here, everybody. I know it wasn't the most coherent of stream. I was possibly a bit tired because of the time, and because of it's night here, 4 a.m. in the morning. But guys, I really appreciate you being here, still staying with me for such a long time. It means a lot to me. I hope you take care of yourself, and I will see you for the deadline stream in a couple of days. Till then, stay safe. FPL Visit signing out with a beautiful song for you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.